Down in the Bus Leagues is brought to you by the Frisco Rough Riders. Jeff, what's going on with the Rough Riders?
They are in town, out of town right now. They're in Corpus playing the Hooks and doing pretty darn good, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But they come home next week, beginning on Tuesday, May the 7th, with an 11:05 a.m. start. That's an early one. You know why? It's Education Day. Get those kids out there and have them watch a ball game on the 9th. On the promotion schedule, on the 9th, they have Thirsty Thursday. The 10th, it's STEM night. So STEM teams will be at Riders Field, but also fireworks. That's always a big one on Fridays. And it's also Evan Carter weekend. Night 1, it's Friday night. On the 11th, kids are on the bases, but it's Evan Carter weekend night number 2. And that's the big one because that's the bobblehead giveaway. So head out for that. And then Sunday the 12th, Kids Fun Day. It's also Mother's Day. Don't forget Mother's Day. And then to finish off the Evan Carter weekend, there'll be a jersey. That's the T-shirt jersey giveaway. So head out to see our friends at Riders Field. And for more information, go to milb.com/Frisco.
All right, a big thanks to Jacob Latz for joining us there, but now it's time to go down in the Bus Leagues that you just heard. And we're going to start out, we go from Round Rock, we go all the way down. Round Rock, who actually the best of all of them right now is Frisco and AA, who's playing good. But Round Rock, AAA affiliate, also the sponsor of our guest segment that we just had. They're 14-15, 6-4 in their last 10. Little different thing yesterday that you didn't catch. I did. Elior Hernandez got he took accepted free agency and left.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but it's understandable. He's been with the organization. This was his 3rd season, and he got called up in 22 for a little bit. He was a really, really good player last year. He was a minor league free agent, re-signed. But look, these guys want to move on. And if he has an opportunity somewhere else, the Rangers aren't going to stand in front of that. I would imagine that at some point we'll hear something about Elior signing somewhere or whatever. Always a nice enough guy, and look, he'd been a pretty good player, especially at AAA, and you don't blame him for moving on. The Rangers aren't going to stand in his way, and what it does is it creates opportunity for somebody else at some point. And but when you're talking about guys down there who are playing well, Sandro Fabian, who was in big league camp, he had some big hits on the last homestand. You wonder, does he get a look at some point? And maybe he does. We just, in the big league segment, we talked about the outfielders, and does Josh Smith end up in there? So I don't know if a non-roster guy like Fabian becomes an option or not. Maybe he does. I don't know. Derek Hill, who's playing arguably better definitely playing better, or hitting better, more productive, a little bit more productive. Good defensive player. He made that great catch in spring training against the Reds. He's off to a nice start. Andrew Knapp, a veteran catcher, off to a good start. If something were to happen to one of the two Rangers catchers, would they go ahead and bring Knapp up because he has more experience than Sam Huff? They want Sam to keep getting reps down in the minor leagues. Of course, Sam was called up when Jonah went on the paternity list. That was just a short bereavement list. Sorry, that was just a short-term deal. But I don't know. So anyway, the depth is there. One other note: Jose Barrero has been reinstated from the development list. He had a home run in his first game. So it'll be interesting to see what changes they were able to make there and how productive he can be, because they really like him. One of the top 100 prospects in the game. So
it's kind of a disgruntling for a guy like, look at Derek Hill. He's hitting 344 with 5 home runs. He's got over 1,000 OPS, but the numbers are far better than both Langford and Carter in the big leagues right now with what they're doing. But nobody in their mind thinks that Derek Hill is a better player than White Langford or Carter. But he's blocked. I mean, there's just nowhere to go right there, because he is having a good season right now there. And Barrero, especially, who cleared waivers, he was a top prospect in all of baseball.
Right. Yeah. And, these guys are talented, obviously. Derek Hill, he's been in the major leagues before, but there's a reason why these guys aren't major leaguers.
Right.
Whatever it is. I'm not a scout, but scouts see something, and there are players who are better than them, and those guys are going to get the chance. I think for him to get on the roster, I think it would take a couple injuries, honestly. But anyway, we'll see. He was a nice guy to talk to in spring training. Worked hard, had a good spring. Gets carried over, so
yeah,
good for him. We haven't even talked about the pitching. Leiter, who's been very, very good. Owen White is
5 innings his last start. Is that right?
5, and gave up two home runs. That was it. But still pitching very well, and he'll probably be in the major leagues next week, kind of like we talked about in the first segment. Owen White's trending the right way. He's got a chance to get a start next week. So, Mark Church, unfortunately, is going to be out a while. He's got something going on in his, I think it was rotator cuff, is what Chris Young said the other day. So
that just stinks.
That stinks, but yeah, we'll just see what happens there. But there are some options.
Frisco Rough Riders of the AA affiliate. They are the sponsor of this segment right here.
Yep.
Frisco's 15-9. They are in first place, 6-4 in their last 10. I mean, when you go pitching there, you're going to talk about Acker, who's probably, you're still saying the guy that's going to be in the big leagues by the end of the year.
I think so. I do. I just, the stuff is so good. And Ben Anderson is a veteran minor league guy and talented brother Ian Anderson in the Braves organization, and there might have been traded, but anyway, Ben Anderson's had a real nice start to his season. Teodo was trending the right way. Ryan Garcia just had a nice start. Our good friend Ryan Garcia.
Love Ryan. Good.
Carlos Cardoza, the manager, he said before the season this was going to be a pitching first team, and he's right. You kind of look at the hitters, Cody Freeman, and had a huge game last week with the 5-hit game, the 2 homers. He's added a home run since then. Josh Hatcher, who's the right fielder, who he's doing pretty good. Abby Ortiz, he batted leadoff in a game here recently. It kind of tells you he can get on base. And Aaron Zavala seems to be heating up. He
started slow, but he's raised his average and had a couple pops.
So definitely some bats to watch down there. So anyway, but they're doing good. They're doing good.
What's Acosta doing? He's
been he's okay. He's kind of about what he's been, 250. Doesn't have any home runs yet. And when he gets on base, he can steal you a bag. Okay. So we'll have to monitor him. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Hickory. They're 9-14, 4-6 in their last 10. Of course, Colley's still on the IL, so he's not playing there. Walcott, who we are all going to keep an eye on, hit another bomb. So that's 2 this year.
Yeah.
Still only 18 years old.
Right.
Good Lord.
Right. Yeah. You can look at go to the MILB.com and look at their stats, and it's like guys you've heard of are hitting 105 and 189. And
you're all upset. You're going, oh my God,
it's a good pitching league. The Hickory themselves has some good pitching, but you just kind of look around and you're like, God, these guys are not off to a good start, and they're not. But
just turned 18.
Well, not him. And we're talking about guys who've been in college who are struggling. So, these numbers will change as the year goes along, but they're pretty gruesome numbers to look at. But Tucker Mitchell's been good. He's an old college catcher who's still in the system. Yossi Galan, he's hitting 189, but he's got 4 home runs because he has all that power. But the names to watch there are Walcott, Colley, and Gutierrez. Ian Muller, our buddy, he's really struggling at the plate too. They all are. So I just think, just like good hitting can be contagious, so can bad hitting. And
sure.
But the pitching side, we need to talk about Brock Porter, who was sent to Arizona. Basically, his starts, he'd just been walking too many guys. His velocity had been down, so they're going to do a deep dive on that. Kind of like you can compare it to the deal with Leiter last year when they took him out of play. You nip it in the bud. They probably waited too long on Jack, but now they're gonna get in there on Porter, and still a young guy. This is his second pro year, so I try to figure that out. But on the pitching side, it's still Winston Santos, who's just still allowed only the one run this year, and it was I think his first inning of the season, and he's been
so he made the adjustment, and that just lasted for a month.
Made an adjustment. He's pitching really, really well. So you're excited about that. You know, you have a lot of guys who you've heard of, who you know. Aiden Curry is struggling though. Our buddy, he's got an 8.36 ERA. Of course, it's early, so that won't last. Mitch Bratt has had a good start, though his ERA is still above 5. Skylar Hales, the 4th-round pick last year, he's pitching as a reliever. His ERA is 7.5. It's like, come on, you know, it's just early in the year, and these guys are going to.
Well, and you see, like some of these guys, you see the inflated ERAs, and sometimes there are ground balls that get through on players that aren't good at defensively. Sure. And all of that. Now, if you're just getting rocked by people, that's different. What they're looking at more is exit velocity on a lot of these kids hitting against them. Are they barreling the guy? And, you know, is he walking? Is he falling behind? I don't care who you are. I don't care how good your crap is. If you're behind on a batter and he can sit there and wait for something down the pipe, that just makes it better.
Well, then you look at the last time through the Rangers rotation. You know, John Gray the other day pitches 8 innings because he's in the strike zone. Andrew Heaney goes 7 because he's in the strike zone. Their stuff plays when they're commanding it. You know, they're not, when they say they're over the plate, they're not just putting it right down the middle, but they're working the corners.
Right.
But they're in the zone. If you're in the strike zone, your stuff's going to be good.
I've said this for all these guys, these kids that come into pro ball, everywhere they have ever played before they come here, their arm could just get them out of any situation. They would go up, blow kids away with throwing 91 miles an hour. For high school kids who can't hit 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, they just look, and then all of a sudden you come into pro ball, and then everybody is either former college players or they've been good enough to be drafted. They hit good pitching.
Yeah,
they can hit. That's why they're in and it's a whole different game than what they've been playing. And it's an adjustment. You got to come in and realize, wow, okay, I'm at a place where I can't make a mistake because these guys make you pay for mistakes.
Yeah.
And you get it in your head a little bit. If you were just rolling, look at what Porter did his last year of high school. Basically just rolled through his competition. Now people are starting to tap you a little bit, and you can get in your head a sec.
Sure.
Somebody's got to wind you down and go, dude, this is pro baseball.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. Let's go to Down East. They're the low A club. They're 11-12. They're 3-7 in their last 10. All right. Tell me about Jesus Lopez.
Yeah. 18-year-old catcher. He's batting 324, with some pop in there. They have Julian Brock on the roster too, as a catcher. He was in the draft last year from Louisiana Lafayette. So they've got the young and the old. Interesting. They both have about roughly the same number of at bats. There are a lot of ways to get guys at bats these days. But that's a good one to watch, and another more good work from the international crew on that one. Marcus Smith,
Venezuela kid,
Marcus Smith, who,
that trade, he's part of that trade,
part of the Dustin Harris, Mike Minor deal, was not very good last year, struck out a lot. He's showing better here. He's a tremendous athlete. He's got a lot of raw power. He has a good eye at the plate. All things that are elements for being a good player. This is his second or third year at Down East, which is never a good thing, but looks like he's trending in the right direction. He's super athletic. He's fast. He's going to steal you bases. He's got power. So if he can cut down on the strikeouts and make more contact, which he's done so far this year, good for him. So let's not lose track of him.
On the pitching front,
pitchers. Again, it's a mix of the young guys and the old guys, the college guys in the draft last year, some young guys international who have moved up. But a couple interesting names out there to watch. Ryan Lobus, who's done pretty well. He has a 1.32 ERA through 13 innings. So Colton Curtis has been a really good pitcher also. You can go down the roster and kind of see some names of Paul Bonzagni, who's a local kid. He's doing pretty well. Went to college. Alejandro Rosario, the 5th round pick last year from Miami, who could throw the ball through a wall. He just didn't know where it's going. It looks like he knows where it's going now. So he's had a couple appearances, so that's good. Just a lot of
Luke
interesting
Savage,
guys who you want to watch. Luke Savage, our buddy, former guest from TCU. So, but you look at their workloads and these starting pitchers. They've been through, they've had 5 appearances, let's say, but they're not at 20 innings yet. They're on tight ropes. You're building them up. You're getting them used to pro ball. So, and like they'll piggyback in a lot of situations. If you see a guy who's a starter and he has a bunch of relief appearances, well, he just might be on the back of the piggyback that time through the rotation. So it's all by design, but again, you're looking for command and control. That's why Lobus kind of sticks out, because he's got like 20 strikeouts and 3 walks. You kind of look for that stuff. But yeah, so it's unless you're actually seeing them, it's a little bit harder to judge. But the guys who are dominating will start to stick out here this month. You'll see numbers through 2 months. You're like, all right, this guy's got to figure it out. It's time to promote him.
And I still say he's not going to be with Down East, but a name to watch that's coming back at the end of this season is obviously going to be Rocker.
Yeah,
who eventually, and I'm hoping that he gets back in time to maybe in August be back to spend a couple weeks somewhere.
Yeah.
And do that and get healthy, maybe go back into fall ball a little bit before coming into the spring next year. Cause that is a guy legitimately, no one's talking about it cause he's not doing anything right now. He's rehabbing, but that's a guy who emerges as another one of those young arms that could go to the higher levels, AA, AAA, if he's doing but I don't think they're going to do what they did with Leiter. I bet he goes back to Hickory and gets rolling from there. But anyway, anything else we've done through them?
Yeah, just a couple things. Rangers Today, as you saw on the scroll, for those watching, but for those listening, $5.99 a month, $35 for 6 months, $60 for a year. If you email me at jeff@rangerstoday.com, I will give you 1 year for $48. You email me, I'll send you a link. Bing, bang, boom, we're done. Also coming to the website, which is pretty exciting, is the ability to buy an individual story for $1. Okay. So if there's a story, you're not a member, there's a story you want to read, want to give it a little test drive, click it, pay $1, see what happens. So anyway, just another way to make some money, another way to be a little more reader friendly for those of us who like me are on a, we got to operate on budgets, and I get it.
Got to make a living. This is your job. This is what you do for a living.
No, but hey, times are tough. Yeah, they have been. I mean, we just picked up a car payment we weren't expecting to have, thanks to that uninsured motorist in Houston.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so just spreading again. We're spreading the word. We're growing. Memberships are good. We want it to always be better. You can always improve. So,
and there may be some fun stuff coming out in Frisco.
Yeah. We're
securing that down. We did get the sponsorship with them.
We're going to batten down some stuff with them, and might have a member appreciation night out there. Stay tuned for details. But the thing is, the Rangers like us, the affiliates like what we do. I hear from readers a lot, but I hear from people inside the organization who are like the way we cover the team and the minor leagues. So if they like it, you should too. So go ahead and subscribe to rangerstoday.com. Hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel. And just keep joining the Rangers Today Club, because we're about building a community, trying to respond to emails and messages, trying to be more active on social media when you guys ask questions. But let's keep this thing rolling.
All right, this one's in the can.
In the can.
All right, it's going to be. Thanks for doing that. Big thanks for Jake Latz for coming out with us. These guys taking their time to do that. It's always great to know that these big leaguers like coming on and being with us and all of that. Guys, 17 and 15, the Rangers are there. They're battling. They're still going. And we're bringing it all to you here from Rangers Today and the Rangers Today Baseball Podcast. For Jeff Wilson, I'm John Moore. Until next time, we'll see you at the yard.